Hi, welcome to our channel. Let's start the video. Inside the office today, I left and headed to Grand Central Station. I have an hour before meeting with a client, thinking I could easily make it on time if I catch the train now. I stopped by a mini-mart to buy a bottle of water and a sandwich. After paying, I walked away from the mini-mart, and I heard a voice from the direction of the ticket gates. Please let go. Looking over, I saw a neatly dressed woman being hassled by a scruffy-looking man. I'll call someone if you don't stop. You can't go. If you do, you'll die. Unable to stand, seeing the woman genuinely distressed, my body moved on its own. Is everything okay? I asked tentatively, and the woman looked up at me as if she had been saved. I don't know. I was just trying to go through the gate when this man suddenly grabbed my arm and said I can't go. I need to get back to the office, she explained. Who are you? Don't interfere. Listen to me. I'm not joking. She'll die if she goes. The man kept ranting incoherently, spitting as he spoke, his eyes bloodshot and darting around, clearly in an abnormal state. Protecting the woman who looked about to cry, I firmly said, "Please let go of her. Can't you see she's troubled?" "Move aside," he demanded. "I won't move," I replied. "I have nothing to say to you. I need to talk to her." The man, losing his temper, shouted loudly, a loud roar echoing through the platform, causing passers-by to turn around. I had to protect her, even if she was a stranger. I couldn't just stand by and watch a woman being harassed. Fueled by a sense of justice, I confronted the man, holding my phone with 911 dialed but not yet called. "Hello, police. I'm in front of the south entrance of Grand Central Station, and a young woman is being harassed by a man who looks homeless. Can you come quickly?" I raised my voice so the man could hear, prompting him to curse and lunge for my hand. "Hey, stop that!" In the ensuing scuffle, my elbow accidentally hit the man, causing him to stumble and fall. "Are you okay?" Although it wasn't intentional, I reflexively offered my hand, but he glared at me and hurried away. What was that all about? She was thanking me as I looked off in shock. "Thank you so much for calling the police." "Oh, that was just a bluff," I admitted. I couldn't really tell if it was serious enough to involve the police, so I pretended. "I'm sorry, I might have just made things worse. We decided it was awkward to keep standing on the platform, so we moved to a nearby cafe to talk more. Her name is Emily. She's a new grad working at a corporation, and she was on her way to work. It turns out he had hassled her as she was about to board the train. This station, stirring milk and syrup into her iced coffee, she muttered worriedly. Actually, this isn't the first time. What? Every time I use this station, he's there waiting for me, and he has approached me several times. According to her, his words were always the same, disjointed, and incomprehensible. He would rant about how dangerous. It was to get on the train or other ominous things, and when she tried to ignore him and walk away, he would grab her arm and persist. Maybe it's a stalker, given how attractive she is. It's entirely possible, she pondered, whether to report it, but felt helpless without knowing his name or address, and seemed to have resigned herself to the situation. "Thank you for helping me. Everyone else just ignored it. You're the first one who actually stepped in. It was just something about the situation that I couldn't ignore," I downplayed, causing her to look down with tears filling up in her eyes. "I have to use this station to get to work, but I don't know what to do. Taxi fares are not cheap either," she mentioned. She lives alone in a condo in the city. I understood how pricey the taxi fares could be for a new grad. "Shall we go to the police together? They might listen if you explain the situation." "No, I'd rather not make a big deal out of it." "I see. I'm sorry for worrying you." "Please don't apologize. You've done nothing wrong. If she refuses to go to the police, there's not much else to be done yet." Leaving her disheartened didn't sit right with me. So after a moment of thought, I pulled out a business card from my suit pocket and offered it to her. "Please take this. It has my cell number on it." But why? I might not be able to do much, but I want to help if I can. After urging her a bit more, she hesitantly accepted the card, offering a fleeting smile. Soon after, she handed me her business card in return, and we ended up exchanging contact information. I remembered I had a meeting with a client and rushed to catch the train, but I ended up being late for the appointment. I managed to apologize and was forgiven, but I was sure to get a scolding from my strict boss. Feeling depressed, I took the train back to the office district. "I'm back," I announced as I entered the department, and everyone turned to look at me with the pale-faced CEO waiting. It's rare for a regular employee like me to meet directly with the CEO, surprised by this unexpected turn. Another bombshell was dropped. "Wilson, we've just received a call from the police. There's a man claiming you assaulted him." "What?" I let out a frantic voice to the words addressed by him. "But why would they contact the company? It seems he had your business card." Emily's distressed face flashed in my mind, but I quickly shook the thought away, wondering why they hadn't called my number. I realized the battery had just run out after witnessing the trouble between the man and Emily. Taking her consultation had left me no time to charge it on the way back. I guess the man waiting at the police station was the same one from before and apologized to my boss. "I'm sorry for involving the company. I'll head to the station right away." "Before you go, could you explain the situation?" As I tried to calm the flustered managers with a serious look, he pressed on, "The actions of an employee are the responsibility of the top, depending on your explanation." I might accompany you. While overwhelmed by his intensity, I gave a detailed explanation of the case. He listened silently until I finished, sighed, and said, "I understand. I'll come with you, Wilson. There's no need for you to go to the trouble. I wasn't there, so I can't judge who's at fault hastily, but I still want to support my employee, Wilson. If he claims innocence, I want to help as much as I can." Overruling the manager's objections, he gave me a nod, made a call on his phone, and stepped into the elevator. "If that man was really injured, we'll have to cover his medical expenses. I can't take advantage of that. This is my responsibility. I'll pay for it myself. It depends on the extent of the injury. We won't know until we get there." Riding in the company's limo to the police station, I felt incredibly uneasy in the back seat. How did things end up like this? Was it a mistake to help her? No, it can't be wrong to help a woman in distress. However, the inescapable fact is my rash behavior caused trouble for many, and my guilt toward the CEO grew. Upon arriving at the police station and explaining the situation, a detective promptly came out and confronted us with the man. He insisted I had attacked him and demanded my arrest, causing a commotion that even the police found difficult to handle. After examining him, it was clear he was malnourished but not injured, relieving me to know I hadn't become an assailant. "Sir," the moment CEO saw the man causing a scene in the police station lobby, his demeanor changed dramatically, with a look of shock spreading across his face. "James, what?" Ignoring my stunned reaction, he approached the man, placing a hand on his trench coat shoulder. "It really is you, brother. You've lost so much weight. It's me, Hank. Where have you been?" "I've been searching everywhere for you. What's happening?" As I stood there confused, he broke down, crying upon reuniting with his long-lost brother. "You still can't forget about Lily, can you?" At the mention of that name, the man's face twisted in agony, and he started lashing out, yelling at the detective and me. "Where is Lily? Did you save her this time, right? Did you stop the train? Did she make it back alive?" "Lily is gone, brother. We even held a funeral. You know that, don't you?" We restrained the man, and he became violent, eventually carrying his limp body to a couch. Later, I bought some cups of coffee from a cafe nearby, and we sat down to talk. It turns out I dropped my business card during the scuffle at Grand Central Station, and the man picked it up. The man was actually CEO's brother, who had disappeared years ago. "Who is Lily?" I asked tentatively, and with a sad smile, he showed me a photo from his wallet. On the right, a slightly younger CEO. On the left, the neatly dressed man, and in the center, a girl in her prom gown. Lily was my niece, my brother's only daughter. She lost her mother early on, and my brother raised her. Right after she was on her first job, she was involved in a train accident. It must have been a huge shock. My brother completely changed after that. His brother, now living as a homeless man near Grand Central Station, mistook Emily for Lily. The resemblance between the two was so strong they could be mistaken for sisters, making it no surprise he confused her in his troubled state. Holding a cup of coffee, he expressed his gratitude in a low voice. "I don't know how to thank you. This might have caused you a lot of trouble, but thanks to you, I was able to reunite with my brother. No amount of gratitude is enough. What will you do about your brother now?" "I'll find a good hospital. I can't leave him alone in that condition." Anyway, hearing his resolute decision, I watched the man now snoring on the couch, deeply moved. His attempts to stop Emily weren't for harassment, but an all-out effort to protect her. He lashed out to me because to him, I appeared as the grim reaper taking his daughter away. "Excuse me," I said to CEO before stepping aside to make a phone call. Without waiting a second, the person on the other end answered, and after taking a deep breath, I relayed the sad story I had just heard. She gave the response. I hoped for her, saying she'd come right away. Minutes later, the CEO was loading his still sleeping brother into the car, heading home. I was also getting a ride back to the company. "Sorry, could you stop at Grand Central Station?" "It's no problem." The car stopped in front of the station. Simultaneously, CEO's brother woke up, looking around confusedly. "Where is this?" "You awake, James?" "Hank, you've aged quite a bit. It's mutual, isn't it?" "Where is Lily?" Asked about the whereabouts of his niece who had tragically passed away in an accident. CEO's face twisted in pain, but a strong voice rang out behind him. "I'm right here, Dad." Turning around, there stood Emily at the ticket gate, smiling brightly. James, as if witnessing a miracle, stepped forward with trembling hands, reaching out to Emily. "You're safe. You made it back." "Yes, I didn't take the train." I see tears of relief flooded from his eyes as his decades-long wish was fulfilled. "So it was like that?" He sighed deeply, relieved, and collapsed at her feet, crying silently. Emily, kneeling beside him, gently embraced his worn trench coat shoulders. "Dad and these people, they saved me." This twist was unbeknownst to me. Following him, I was pointed out and caught off guard. Turning to see the man thanking me, "Thank you for stopping my daughter. You are a lifesaver." Perhaps he had always been waiting for this day, regretting sending off his daughter, and wandering near Grand Central Station, determined not to let a girl who resembled his daughter board the train again. Alongside him, we helped the tearful man to his feet, whispering in his ear, "The schedule is as usual with no disruptions. No tragedy befell her." Later on, the brother was admitted to a hospital where he received comprehensive care, medication, and counseling, gradually improving his condition. Emily and I occasionally visit him together, causing some to mistakenly think we are a couple, making us break out in a cold sweat. Eventually, he'll have to face reality once his memory recovers. It's okay, we're here for him now. Watching the brother chat happily with Emily, I supported the CEO's quiet remark as a regular rhythm of sound, likely from a nearby subway track, reached us.